So I've recently replayed Red Dead Redemption 2, and it always surprises me just how much of a masterpiece that game is. It truly is one of the greatest games ever made, and definitely one of the best stories in any video game. But it got me thinking, what will Red Dead Redemption 3 look like? This is something I'm sure we've all thought about once or twice. Now, even though we probably won't be getting Red Dead Redemption 3 within the next 10 years, considering GTA 6 is right around the corner, I still thought it would be fun to speculate and theorize about what I believe RDR3 is going to look like. In this video, I'll be explaining what I think the story is going to be, details about the map, and just gameplay in general. Let's first start with what I think the story is going to be. This is something I've heard a lot of people discuss. Some people think you'll play as Sadie Adler as a bounty hunter, other people think you'll be playing as Charles when he moves up to Canada, both of those possibilities taking place after the events of Red Dead Redemption 2. And of course, some people even believe the third installment will continue the trend of moving backwards in the story, and we'll see young Arthur, young John, Hosea, and Dutch. Out of all of those theories, I think the last one is the most likely, except to be honest, I don't think any of them are going to become reality. In fact, I believe we're going to get a whole new set of characters with possibly a few cameos here and there, but for the most part, it'll be a brand new story with brand new characters. To go even deeper, I believe our new protagonist is going to be a full-fledged bounty hunter, simply because if Rockstar is going to make brand new characters, I don't think they're going to make another gang-themed story. I feel like they're going to want to do something new. They're not just going to make another story about a gang that eventually falls apart. They just did that, and it would feel kind of repetitive. I don't know about you guys, but I just really think they're gonna go with a lone wolf bounty hunter type outlaw. Kind of similar with how John Marston was in Red Dead Redemption 1, but I don't think he'll have a wife and kids. Maybe just a few friends or siblings that would pop up throughout the story. Maybe he even falls in love with one of his bounties if they wanted to add some romance into the story, which to be fair is something they've been doing a lot lately in their games. But the main reason I'm so positive you'll be a bounty hunter is because if they want to do something different, there's not really anything else they can do. Plus, bounty hunting is something that's already in Red Dead Redemption 2, so I feel like they could easily just flesh that out and make a much better bounty hunting system for it. And I feel like if they are going to go with this idea, then why not just make him a complete badass? If it's mostly just him for the entire game, just give him a massive amount of aura. I'm talking about more aura than John Marston and Arthur Morgan. We've already got great characters in John and Arthur, so why not make this third guy far more dangerous and capable? You can still make him a great character, but chances are we're not going to like him more than Arthur and John anyways. So if they just gave him a massive amount of aura and more sauce than those two, then he'll be memorable and really stand out. For example, you know that one mod in RDR2 that gives Arthur Morgan that cool black hat and leather jacket, and he looks super badass while wearing it? That's the type of stuff I want this new protagonist to have. I also just feel like moving on and introducing more characters would be the better choice, simply because it would help expand the Red Dead universe. And like I said before, there could even be cameos from Red Dead Redemption 2, since I'm assuming this game will also take place around a similar time frame as the second one. Considering you can't really have the game take place after the first one, simply because that's at the very end of the Wild West. But now let's move on to the gameplay elements. First of all, this game is probably going to be the best looking game ever created. Even while playing RDR2, I kept thinking, damn, this game still looks better than majority of the games coming out today, and it came out back in 2018. Almost 10 years ago. So I don't think it's a stretch at all to say that RDR3 is going to be borderline photorealistic. I also believe it's going to be one of the most open games imaginable. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I was playing RDR2, and someone walked into the room who wasn't too familiar with video games. He asked me, "Can you go punch that guy?" I said yes. Then he said, "Can you call that guy names?" And I said yes. And he just kept asking me questions about things you can do in Red Dead Redemption 2 that of course are within the realm of possibilities for a cowboy game, and I just kept saying yes. That's truly the moment I thought to myself, wow, you can actually do a lot of stuff in this game and you don't even notice it. If it's something completely possible within the time period RDR2 takes place in, and not something super specific like lay down and do push-ups, you can most likely do it. So now just imagine in 10 years what Red Dead Redemption 3 is going to look like. If RDR2 is GTA 5 in the Wild West, that means RDR3 is going to be GTA 6 in the Wild West. And from what I've been hearing about GTA 6, that's going to be pretty crazy. I also feel like by the time the game comes out, Rockstar's technology and formula will have improved so much that everything that's great about Red Dead Redemption 2 will just be amplified in the third installment. First of all, just hearing that is already enough to get me excited. An improved version of RDR2 would be insane. But if they do go with the bounty hunter route, I want to discuss what I think would be a cool concept for the bounty hunting mechanic. Because obviously if they go with this, they can't just do the same old pick up a poster, follow the waypoint to the bounty, tie them up, and take them back to the sheriff's office. It's going to have to be a little more in-depth. I think it would be a really cool idea if you actually had to track these bounties down. It could actually be a challenge. You'd have to find clues, follow trails, and if you're after a savage gang, you might have to follow their trail of destruction. If you've played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, there's an option you can change in the settings that practically takes away waypoints. So if you want to have a more realistic playthrough, you get no markers on your map. A character might just tell you it's west of this town or near this statue, and you have to actually use that information to find them. Or if you want a more traditional video game experience, you can simply have the waypoint option turned on. I think they could very easily implement that system into the bounty hunting system for Red Dead Redemption 3 as well. If you want, you can have a waypoint telling you where to go, or you can actually track them down with no waypoint and just go off clues, tracks, environmental markers, and everything else around you. They could even implement some type of nemesis system into the game, where if you catch a bounty and kill or arrest them, their friends will come after you and hunt you down, trying to get revenge. I also think Rockstar would be able to add some moral choices to collecting these bounties, kind of like what they did in Chapter 6 of RDR2 with the debt collection missions. You could actually have a choice to be mean or the choice to be good. Maybe you're hunting down someone you think is terrible, only to find out they really aren't that bad and have a family they're trying to get back to, so you can either let them go or arrest them. I might be getting a little bit ahead of myself here, but I mean, just imagine if there's a mission where you're trying to hunt down the Vandalin gang, only for your character to end up getting killed by Arthur. And as for the characters, there's not too much to really go off of since we literally know nothing about what the game's gonna be. You'd obviously have your protagonist, the badass bounty hunter, then you'd have your love interest who could possibly be a bounty that you had to track down, then you'd have your antagonist, which like I just mentioned could even be the Vandalin gang, the O'Driscolls, or it could just be a brand new character or gang entirely. And as for the map, again, there's not really much to go off of. They could very easily just use the RDR2 map, but add another section to it, just like what they did with RDR2 and the RDR1 map. Or they could just make an entirely different map and have us explore a new part of America. But the bottom line is that all of this is speculation and we literally know nothing. Plus, even if Rockstar has a completely different idea in mind, I'm sure we're all going to love it, considering it's pretty rare Rockstar makes a bad game. But let me know what you think in the comments down below, and tell me what you think or what you want RDR3 to look like. If you want to see more videos by me, I have a lot, so go check those out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.